Hello learners, I hope you all are doing good. This is third part of understanding marginalization, and in this video we are going to discuss about minorities and marginalization, how those communities which are less in numbers are facing marginalization, and how government, our constitution is giving a safeguard against that. Now, minority means those people or a community who are less in a number, in relation to existing population. Now, Constitution is providing safeguard to the religion and linguistic minority as part of fundamental right, which simply means if you are you are Rajasthani and you are speaking Marwadi. Now you are having a right of speaking that language, following your culture, even if you are in a Kerala, or even if you are in Jammu or Kashmir, and even if you are in any other state. You are having that fundamental right that you can speak that language, you can promote your culture. Yeah, so the Constitution is providing us that right. And why do you think this minority group has been provided this safeguard? Why there is a need of safeguard for a minority? So the safeguard is provided just because the Constitution recognizes that the culture of majority influence the way in which society and the government might express themselves. In such a case क्या होगा? Size can be disadvantage and lead to marginalization. जो कम्युनिटी छोटी होगी उनका कल्चर नहीं चलेगा, जो बड़ी होगी उन्हीं की बात सुनी जाएगी, गवर्नमेंट भी उसी वे में रिएक्ट करेगी और उसी तरह से ट्रीट करेगी लोगों को. एंड और क्या होगा? Thus safeguard are needed to protect minority community against the possibility of being culturally dominated by those people who are more in number, who are having a marginality. So they also protect them against any discrimination and disadvantage that they may face. The Constitution provides these safeguards because it is committed to protecting India's culture, diversity, and promoting equality as well as justice for everyone. So now we are going to see how a particular community, Muslim community, is facing marginalization. Now here is a chart which is showing access to basic amenities. In that there is a pakka house, electricity and tap water facility. So among these, the Muslim community is that community which is getting a less of everything. Yeah, the Sikh community is the one community which is having all the amenities, all the facilities more in comparison to any other religion. And there is a literacy rate of every religion according to 2011. In which also Muslim community is least literate among them, and which one is highest? Jain communities. Yeah, that is the highest. And here is a chart of public employment of Muslim. They are having a total population of 13.5%. Out of that, 3% are only in IAS. In IPS, there are 4%. In IFS there are 1.8%, in Central Public Sector Unit there is 3.3%, and at State PSU there is 10.8%, and in a bank and RBI there is only 2.2%. And now we are going to talk about the steps which are taken by government to improve the conditions or to overview the condition. The government has set up a high-level committee in 2005, chaired by Justice Rajendra Sachdev, the community examined the social, economic and educational status of Muslim community in India. Economic and social marginalization expressed by Muslim as other dimension as well, like other minorities, Muslim customs and practice are sometimes quite distant from what is seen as mainstream, that they are practicing something which is different from a mainstream which other peoples are doing, and that's why it is possible somehow they are seen as that there is some stereotype about them, and just because of that stereotype they are getting treated differently and they are marginalized. Now what are those things? Some, not all Muslim wear a burqa, or Muslim ladies are wearing burqa, and men are doing what? They are sporting a long beard and wearing a fez, topi, yeah, and these become a way to identify all Muslims. Because of this, they tend to be identified differently, and some people think they are not like the rest of us, and often this become an excuse to treat them unfairly and discriminate against them. But we should stop that. We should realize that if there is not a diversity in a culture and other things, then our country will not be the same. Our country will be the same as they are known from their different religion and their uniqueness. And now we are concluding our chapter. Now we have tried to understand what it means to be marginalized community. We have tried to look at this through experience of different marginalized community. There are different reasons for each of these community being marginalized. Each experiences marginalization in a different way. We have also seen that marginalization is linked to experiencing disadvantages, prejudice and powerlessness. In India, there are several more marginalization community like Dalit, and next chapter we are going to see about that. Marginalization results in having low social status and not having equal access to education and other things also, other resources also. And yet the life of marginalized people can and do change. We can make a change in their life. Thus no one is marginalized all the time in exactly the same way. All people are not facing the marginalization in same way. If we go back to an example, we have seen how marginalization has affected Muslims, how they are affecting Adivasis, and next chapter we are going to see a few more things. Yeah. So we are ending this chapter. Thank you.